But this was special. I mean, you can see the passion, the ownership, the energy, and the tradition right there. I mean, like the second I didn't, I'm not one to write stuff down. I'm not one to, even when we do game day, I don't have 8,000 pieces of paper in front of me. I talk about basketball, and that's what I do for a living. So, like, I thought about a couple things, and I figured I'd walk out there and kind of figure out what was going on. And, what I said is how I felt. I mean, you could feel the tradition, you could feel the ownership, you could feel the passion, and that's what makes this place, special. I mean, that's what makes Indiana, Indiana. I had a chance to watch them practice today, and it's fun watching this team play. I mean, the key term everyone's talking about now is positionless basketball, but you can't play that way unless you develop players. You can't play that way unless you do those things every single day. And, I thought the practice really was a great example of kind of what I call pushing the sides of the box out, making guys uncomfortable so that they can improve. And they're a long way from where they need to go to be. And, probably a bunch of you guys in here wrote obituaries for them last year and after Hawaii. So, I mean, they're not where they are, where they are right now is not where they're going to be in December, January, February, March. That's just the way it is. And that's just part of college basketball today because the game is getting younger and you got to develop players and there are good teams and the light bulb goes on for different teams at different times. But it seems like they got a great sense of community and a great trust. And I think what they went through last year was kind of solidifies that. I think the best thing of the whole night was that video right before, that 3-minute video, not the 15-minute video. That 3-minute video to me was, I don't know who did it, but that was really cool because that's kind of what it's all about. When adversity hits, staying together, continuing to work, trusting each other, respecting the process and blocking all the static out. And that's what they were able to do last year. And that was pretty impressive. As a coach, the hardest thing to do is deal with adversity and get your team back. And that was pretty impressive to me. So I'll answer any questions. And yes.
What 3 players stood out to you the most when you watched the actual practice?
3 players stood out to me the most. OG is he makes stuff look easy. I mean, he really does. He makes the game look really easy. Thomas's versatility and confidence in doing those things probably, and Robert Johnson shot it. I mean, he really shot it in practice today. He had a terrific practice. And as well as he shot it, I mean, and I told Tom this, and I actually told Robert it when I spoke to the team, is like, it's great he can make shots, but where he needs to, in my opinion, where he needs to be the guy that, along with OG, who's just a lockdown defender. He could be a terrific perimeter lockdown defender who also happens to make shots. But he had a really, really good practice today. And I thought he was very impressive. Just confident and was poised and went hard and processed stuff. So that's really hard. I mean, they've got a lot of terminology and they're playing off of concepts as opposed to out of plays. So it takes a while to get to that point. And that's what, like the freshmen, they're behind right now. Those freshmen they'll catch up. That's for sure. But it takes a while to get them to play on instinct, and that's what's that's why you practice.
Being a coach yourself, what went through your mind hearing Tom Crean's speech before and after giving out the Big Ten championship rings?
It's such an emotional thing when you have a shared experience, and you go on this journey with your team, and you've navigated the potholes and the detours, and those experiences, like when you're talking about to those guys, it's really personal, because as easy as it is on the outside looking in, when you're with someone basically every single day for 11 months, and during the season, I mean, there are so many shared experiences, good and bad, that it just showed, to me, it showed his connection with his guys. And seeing Tom get emotional, that's real, because you know what that person had been through. And, you you both shared that experience together, and I thought it was genuine. I thought it was heartfelt, and it's probably the thing I missed most about coaching, not being coaching. The only person I impact now is a gambler. You know, I mean, watching, you can see, like, to me, my heart breaks for Colin Harper. I mean, that's just me. I sat out there, on the bench, and I told the team today, I looked him right in the eye, I said, man, I just feel sick for that kid. Because that kid embodies, like, so much of you want in a guy that plays for you. And he's a very important piece to their team, but forget about that. I mean, that guy was a selfless and good a teammate, so comfortable in his own skin, pretty special kid. I just feel for him. I really do.
Anything else? Pete?
Seth, what do you see in terms of the ceiling of this team?
I think they can be. I think they have a chance to be really special. I think that it's going to be different because at the end of a clock, you're not going to be able to give it to Yogi and have him go make a play. So they got to figure out how they're going to play, whether they're going to flow or get the ball in his hands. I mean, I think that's going to be a big decision. I think they're going to have to be, and it'll take a little time, a little bit harder, tougher on the defensive end because they probably will not score it as easy. I thought James Blackman had a good practice, and he's working his way to that point. They've had so many injuries. I think that the X factor, Juwan Morgan could be an X factor in this team if he stays healthy. But I've been to Kentucky, I've been to Kansas, I've been to Michigan State, I've been to Connecticut, I'm going to Duke State, and I've gone around, and they're a team that, as they continue to improve, they're going to be able to play with anyone on any given night. Now, they're going to have to do some things to finish games. They're going to have to, again, continue to improve defensively. But they've got enough pieces. Look, they got a low post guy that can score, that can also step out. They got a tough matchup in OG. James Blackman makes shots. Robert Johnson should be a very good defender. They've got, a guy like Juwan who's got a versatility. If you go through their roster, they got a lot of pieces. Now, figuring out how to get those pieces together, rotations, substitution patterns, and things of that. And this time of year, I get a kick when guys go in. I see these guys as the starting five, and I don't know. These teams are all a work in progress, and how you deal with adversity, how you deal with injuries, how you deal with how much better. Like I told these kids just now, this was great, but tomorrow's a whole lot more important than today. You can have the same enthusiasm in January that you had today. So, as teams grow, which I think this team will, they're going to be, and there are about 20 teams, there's a couple that might have separated themselves a little, but there's about 20 teams that, to be honest with you, they can get on a 4-game win streak. Syracuse last year, who saw that coming? And this is, that's the same type of thing.
Anything else?
Guys, have a fun season.